Hello everyone, SaltyJohn here for TFG Radio with another 40k video battle report. Today we have myself and the vaunted Wolftide taking on the number 1 Blood Angels player in the world according to current ITC rankings, and fellow #Wrecked teammate Danny Kwan. Our Tuesday night 40k sessions at our local FLGS provide a great mix of opponents and army builds. Before we get to the Wolftide vs Blood Angels matchup between Danny K and I, let's take a look into Tom's game with his triple formation Tau against the new Gene Stealer Cult Badassery, piloted by Natalie.
That's not on. We're gonna tape this, do it right.
It's on now. Now it's not focusing though.
That's fine.
There we go.
Shotguns.
Shotguns on ghost kills. Sweet.
No, every time I've rolled a strength 8 AP1 twin light fusion blaster, hit the first time, to wound is a 1. 6 times tonight, I've wounded on a 1.
That's because they're an ugly blue color.
Yeah,
And they call me Salty.
I'm gonna make your balls an angry blue color.
They already are. I'm married. Make sure you get that.
I got it. It'll go in there.
I try to shot now. Try to chop and make
The Devourer.
What turn are you on?
Turn 5.
Turn 5. What's the mission?
Emperor's Will, which I think is bullshit because I don't have an Emperor, so I don't know why that applies to me.
It's the will.
Well, technically the Gene Stealer Cult doesn't have an Emperor either.
No, they think they do.
They left the Emperor.
The six-armed Emperor.
How do you like it so far? The G-Steer Coast.
What's going on with that
I mean, it's freaking amazing.
Hive Tyrant over there?
It's seductively assaulting my Riptide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
He's trying to use his turn as wild.
Hive Tyrant Slanesh.
On
Tom did end up losing that game, by the way. We have a team tournament coming up at our local FLGS, so #Wrecked is preparing. I was given the role of captain for the team, and as such decided not to also play anchor with my black mains, but instead run Wolftide again. After my experience at the Hammer of Wrath GT going 3-2 with Wolftide, I decided the addition of Azrael and a Dark Angels CAD instead of Tigerius with a Conclave would be a better choice. You win, Internet. My list is the Wolves Unleashed with Wolflord on mount, Fist, Shield, and Runic Armor, 2 Wolfguard battle leaders with Fists and Shields and Thunderwolf mounts, an Iron Priest, the HQ version of course, on a mount with the Tempest Hammer, Wolf Priest on bike with the Wolfenstone, so he and his unit, which is going to be the Wolfkin, get Furious Charge. 2 units of 5 Bloodclaws round out the Wolves Unleashed detachment. I then have a Wolfkin formation with 45 Wolves and a Dark Angels CAD with Azrael, 2 level 2 Librarians on bikes with axes, 5 Scouts, and 5 Tactical Marines with a Multi-Melda. This is my deployment, and Danny's deployment too. I got first turn, and he wisely chose not to give me anything to go after turn 1. Danny Kwan's Blood Angels lists can be very different, but he has had a lot of success with iterations similar to this one. He has a Blood Angels CAD with Chaplain, Auspex, Veritas Vitae, 2 Furioso Dreads with Frag Cannons and Pods, 3 5-man tactical squads with Melta and Pods, a Relic Leviathan Dread, which are badass if you have considered getting one, get one, an Lucius Pattern Dread Pod, which again, if you want one, you should get it, they're really good. A Fire Raptor gunship with the War of Murder Legacy. Then he has a White Scars allied detachment with level 1 Librarian, Hunter's Eye, a Scout Squad, Fast Attack Drop Pod, and 3 Grav Centurions. This is the basic plug-and-play White Scar allied detachment for 40k. This is the beginning of our game, and Danny is elected to not attempt to seize the initiative. He's also elected to deploy nothing in his zone. So we're going to see how I do moving around with an empty field. This is the end of my turn 1, and Danny, because he's got a lot of infiltrators, I went ahead and threw up a bunch of line over here, try to keep them from outflanking, and that's about it, because there's nothing on the board for me to do. At this point, I know that Danny's going to be bringing on infiltrators from the sides and outflanking, so I try to make a nice line on the one side so I can automatically kill a few units if they come on that side. That would have worked for a tactical squad if I had remembered to close the 3-inch gap all the way down at the end there. So at the end of Danny's turn 1, he dropped in 3 empty pods. The Leviathan pod he tried to put here and scattered, and it mishapped off the board. So I got to place it in the corner, and that's about all that happened. So we'll see what happens with mine. At the end of my turn, I managed to vaporize a pod by breaking off 2 Wolfguard battle leaders, and I'm still hugging the board edge. Hoping Danny doesn't outflank. One of the big tricks to playing a Death Star, particularly one that's Thunderwolf Cavalry heavy, is making sure that you know when to break up your formation and break off independent characters and then bring them back together again. That's something I'm still working on, as evidenced by the fact that I broke off those 2 Wolfguard battle leaders to kill a drop pod, and then they immediately died in the ensuing turn. At the end of the Blood Angels turn 2, we had quite a bit happen. This tactical squad came in and wasted a bunch of wolves with their rerollable save and their feel no pain. Over there, the 2 Wolfguard battle leaders ate it to bolter fire. All the wounds but 1 were done by bolter fire. And over here, this guy almost finished off the blood claws, but there's one lone guy hanging out giving me points. So I've currently got 2 Maelstrom points, but Danny's ahead on kill points. Danny understands that if he can keep the Wolftide tied up well enough for long enough, that he has a good chance, if the game ends on 5 or 6, of being far enough ahead in points, both maybe KP-wise, but definitely Maelstrom-wise, that he could pull off a win. Here at the end of the Wolftide's turn, and they managed to kill off the Dread in combat with the Iron Priest, 1 shot going in. And over here, those 2 Marines are still alive, so the whole Wolftide is stuck for a turn. It's now Danny's turn 3. I scored 1 Maelstrom on my turn, and 1 kill point. As the game continues to progress, it becomes quite obvious that Danny's entire plan is to rack up as many Maelstrom points as possible while continually moving as far away from the Wolftide as possible while leaving them tied up. This is a very good strategy and pays off in the end. Alright, here we are at the end of Danny's turn 3, and the current standings are right here, where I have 3 kill points, Danny's got 4. I have 2 Maelstroms to Danny's 4, so he's winning all the way around. I finished off that tactical squad, so I'll be able to move. And he polished off Blood Claws holding the 1, Blood Claws holding the 3, and he's going to mess up my Maelstrom count right now. So, we'll see what happens in my turn 4. Somebody needs to call the Inquisition. The White Scars got into the Ultramarines armory again. Alright, so at the end of my turn, I managed to get 1 KP. I scored no Maelstroms as predicted, but I did kill out that drop pod and moved my guys so I can get close to Danny. Now on to Blood Angels turn 4. It's the end of Blood Angels turn 4, and he managed to get 1 more kill point, killing off the scouts over there. And he took down the 1 lone multi-melta in the list, so now I have nothing to kill off that with. Fire Raptor. We're going to see how close I can get to him, see how many charges I get off. Danny Kwan's list has a really great mix of ability to shoot and assault, given the fact that the Furiosos are in the list and the Fire Raptor is in the list. By going towards his edge on the far side of the board, far away from the Wolftide, he's able to just keep me at a large distance and feed me very few KPs at a time. Here we're at the end of SaltyJohn's turn 5, and I forgot my psychic phase, so I don't have able to time this turn. But I managed to kill that drop pod. It is actually blown up, we just haven't removed it yet, and that's all I did. However, that means we are tied on kill points. I am still far behind on Maelstrom. I'm still 2 behind. So now we're going to go on to Danny's turn 5 and hope that the game doesn't end. Or at least I hope the game doesn't end. Alright, we're at the end of the game here because I rolled a 2 and the game's not continuing. So Danny did a couple of good moves. He put his Fire Raptor down the ground and shot at the Tactical Marines, the Dark Angels Tactical Marines. But he only killed 1, so that would have been good for me next turn. I killed off 2 more dogs from the Wolftide, and I just could not get over there to do enough damage. And the final standings, Danny will be so kind as to hold him up. We tied on kill points, but Danny got 6 Maelstroms plus the bonuses to my 3. So that's it. Game over. Danny Kwan, number 1 ITC Blood Angel player, wins. See you next time. Danny's a great example of smart play and a solid list being able to win out over what should be a really bad matchup. Poor decisions on my part to hang back and not go forward and try to take off a couple of guys who might outflank probably wasn't the best option, but in the end, really smart play by Danny pulled it out. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of a TFG Radio Battle Report. This is SaltyJohn, signing off.